Hey everyone! I'm Aiyven and I'm 17,100,000 years old. Can we just talk about that for a second? How she's 13 and I'm 17.
Anyways, I'm Kirsten and I'm 13.
I'm Aiyven and I'm 12.
And as you probably know by now, we are the Bar book reviewers.
We're back with yet another review and the theme for this week is...
Currently reading. Today I'll be reviewing Coraline by Nurogons.
And I'm going to be reviewing Paper Towns by John Green. We have some really exciting news for you all that like watching these book reviews, and that is we're adding a new segment, I guess, and we are going to be reviewing your guys' comments on the books we are going to be showcasing in the video. So what we're going to do is on Instagram we will ask for your reviews, and then if you send in those reviews we'll go through them and look at them and look at what you've said in this video so you guys can be included.
I'm really excited for that, but for now we are going to get on with this review, and Aiyven is going to be kicking us off with Paper Towns.
Disclaimer everybody, we've actually read and finished these books. It's just books that we've read recently because, you know, I don't know if you could really trust our reviews on these books if we hadn't finished them, so we have read these books and finished them. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to read you the blurb of this book and then I'll summarize it for you because, you know, that's the usual. That's the usual. I did just say that. The thing about Margot Roth Spiegelman is that really all I could ever do was let her talk. And then when she stopped talking, encourage her to go on due to the facts that 1, I was incontestably in love with her, and 2, she was absolutely unprecedented in every way, and 3, she never really asked me any questions. Quentin Robinson? I don't know where that came from. Quentin Jacobson has always loved Margot from afar. So when she climbs through his window to summon him on an all-night road trip of revenge, he cannot help but follow. But the next morning, Q turns up at school and Margot doesn't. She's left clues to her disappearance like a trail of breadcrumbs for Q to follow. Then everything leads to one unavoidable question. Who is the real Margot? So let's just discuss that blurb. You can just get like a few main points out of it. Quentin really likes Margot, and Margot's quite a mysterious character, you know. It seems like she's hiding a lot and doesn't really show it. I may be saying that because I read the book, but I guess you could get that from the blurb. But the blurb it leaves you wanting to read, which is literally the definition of a blurb in my opinion. It's what a blurb should do. So I think John Green's done a very good job with that. So my summary of the book, as I said, John Green has done a good job with that. But I just say, so Quentin really likes Margot, and Margot is kind of like the girl that gets on with everyone and everything. That makes no sense. So John Green has done a very good job with the blurb, but I just summarize it and say that Quentin obviously really likes Margot, and Margot's that type of girl who's bubbly, energetic, chatty, and gets on with everyone. And then Quentin and Margot, they're next door neighbours. Margot comes and knocks on Quentin's window and takes him on an adventure, and she gets revenge on everyone who has failed her in the last few months, and she really enjoys it. Quentin really enjoys it, and they have a wonderful time. But when they show up to school the next day, Margot's not there, and Margot's run away quite a lot. So Quentin and everyone thinks that it's just Margot's another runaway girl, she'll come back soon like she normally does. But Quentin doesn't believe that, and he tries to follow the clues that Margot has set him to find out where she is. So the genre for this book, I definitely say it's a mystery because Quentin's following Margot's clues to find her, but also a romance because he's doing it all for love. So like a romance mystery, I guess. I'd say the age rating for this book is probably a 13 plus. And yeah, because it does feature quite heavy topics in some places. Like John Green kind of just adds some heavy subjects in, and that can obviously be a lot for younger readers. But yeah, just generally, I just say that John Green is definitely like a teenage, young adult kind of writer dude. So yeah, we're friends. We're on dude terms. Why did I say that? So I am going to read you guys an extract from this. I'm gonna read you an extract from this to give you a feel of what the book is like. And obviously I've just summarized it for you, but I think that an extract is going to do you a whole lot of good. You're going to be thanking me so much when I do this for you. You will be... Let's not get religious. I'm going to be reading you an extract from this, and it's going to do a whole lot of good. You guys will be thanking me for the rest of your lives when I've read this extract. Okay. The day passed as it always did, in slow motion, with 1,000 plaintive glances at the clock. But now it was even more unbearable, because every minute I wasted in school was another minute in which I failed to find her, Margot. My only vaguely interesting class that day was English, when Dr. Holden completely ruined Moby Dick for me by incorrectly assuming we'd all read it and talking about Captain Ahab and his obsession with finding and killing this white whale. But it was fun to watch her get more and more excited as she talked. Ahab's a madman railing against fate. You never see Ahab wanting anything else in the whole novel, do you? He was a singular obsession, and because he is the captain of a ship, no one can stop him. You can argue, indeed, you may argue, if you choose to write about him for your final reaction papers, that Ahab is a fool for being obsessed. But you could also argue that there is something tragically heroic about fighting this battle he is doomed to lose. Is Ahab's hope a kind of insanity, or is it the very definition of humanness? I wrote down as much as I could of what she said, realising that I could probably pull off my final reaction paper without actually reading the book. As she talked, it occurred to me that Dr. Holden was unusually good at reading stuff, and she said she liked Whitman, so when the bell rang, I took leaves of grass from my bag and then zipped it back up slowly while everyone raced off, either to home or to the extracurriculars. I waited behind someone asking for an extension on an already laid paper, and then he left. It's my favourite Whitman reader, she said. I forced a smile. Do you know I'm struggling. Do you know Margot Roth Spiegelman? I asked. She sat down behind her desk and motioned for me to sit. I never had her in class, Dr. Holden said, but I've certainly heard of her. I know that she ran away. She sort of lent me this book of poems before she disappeared. I handed the book over and Dr. Holden began paging it slowly. As she did, I told her, I've been thinking a lot about the highlighted parts. If you go to the end of Song of Myself, she highlights the stuff about dying. Like, if you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. That's the end of my extract, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight to what that was about. So basically, Margot, one of the clues that she left was a poetry book, and she highlighted some lines in the poetry book. So Quentin has been studying those lines and trying to understand what they mean, and a lot of those lines relate to death. So he's trying to, get inside Margot's headspace and find out, try to seek what she is actually, thinking and why she has highlighted those lines. So yeah, it must be quite frustrating for Quentin, because I feel like in the whole book he's always so close to uncovering Margot, but then he loses it. But each clue leads on from another, as most mysteries are like. So I really can't wait for you guys to see what happens. So I'd rate this book probably a 4.5 out of 5. It may just be because I love John Green and I'm on a quest to read all of his books, but this book, as most of his books are, is very well written, and it does really, it kind of drags you along with the storyline, whether you have a choice or not, because it's it forces you to get invested in Margot and her story and why she's run away and where she possibly is and all of these clues. And the best thing about a mystery book or a detective book is where you could piece together all the puzzles and you're like, oh my gosh, I did it, and you just get that feeling of accomplishment when when you have all of the pieces of the puzzle together and the mystery, the way. So yeah, honestly, this book is a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I think you should definitely give it a try, but beware, it does feature some heavy topics, and it's just generally a 13 plus, in my opinion. So that's it for me, and I'm gonna hand it over to Kirsten. Bye!
Hey guys, I'm back. I know you missed me more than Aiyven, and now I'm going to be reviewing Coraline by Neil Gaiman And can I just say, I love Coraline. I love the movie, love the book, and I'm yet to buy the video game of Coraline, but I just love everything Coraline. A lot of you may already be familiar with the book and the movie of Coraline, as it's really famous, and the storyline is just so gripping. And now I'm going to read you the blurb of this amazing book. Sometimes a door is closed for a very good reason. There is something strange about Coraline's new home. It's not the mist or the cat that always seems to be watching her, nor the signs of danger that Miss Spink and Miss Forcible, her new neighbours, read in the tea leaves. It's the other house, the one behind the old door in the drawing room. Another mother and father with black button eyes and papery skin are waiting for Coraline to join them there, and they want her to stay with them forever. She knows that if she ventures through the door, she may never come back. Step into the wonderfully creepy world of Coraline, the thrilling and sinister modern classic from New York Times bestseller author Neil Gaiman. So now I'm going to talk about the genre and the age rating, but before I do, I want to say if you have any theories about Coraline this book, or any theories from the movie, comment them down below, and hopefully at the start of our next review, we can go through some of those theories and sort of unpick them with you, and just talk about some of the theories and, you know, if I think they're theories of this book and the movie as well. But the age rating, I would say for me, is maybe a 10 plus, because, well, actually, this book was made for a younger child at first. Neil Gaiman made this for his young daughter. So I would say this book can be for 6 plus, but the older you get, the more thrilling and horrific you'll find this book, and the more you'll be able to unpick the secrets and learn more about the actual Coraline story. So I would say it is a 6 plus, and the genre is light horror, and the horror gets darker the older you grow up, because you can find out it's not just about 2 people with black burnt eyes, it's a lot more than that. So I'm going to read an extract of Coraline now, and the scene we are in is Coraline's just gone over to Miss Spink's and Miss Forcible's, and she's just gone into their parlour and she's about to have a cup of tea. Miss Spink poured Coraline a cup of tea in a little pink bone china cup with a saucer and gave her a dry Garibaldi biscuit to go with it. Miss Forcible looked at Miss Spink, picked up her knitting and took a deep breath. Anyway, April, as I was saying, you still have to admit there's life in the old dog, yeah, she said. Oh, so basically Miss Forcible and Miss Spink have a really weird obsession with little Scotties, and when their dogs die, they stuff them and put them on the walls, which is really, really disturbing to see in the movie. Miriam dear, neither of us is as young as we were. Madame Arcati, replied Miss Forcible. The nurse in Romeo, Lady Bracknell, character parts. They can't retire you from the stage. Now, Miriam, we agreed, said Miss Spink. Coraline wondered if they'd forgotten she was there. It weren't making much sense. She decided they were having an argument, as old and comfortable as an armchair. The kind of argument that no one ever really wins or loses, but which can go on forever if both parties are winning. She sipped her tea. I'll read the leaves if you want, said Miss Spink to Coraline. Sorry, said Coraline. The tea leaves, dear. I'll read your future. Coraline passed Miss Spink her cup. Miss Spink peered short-sightedly at the black tea leaves in the bottom. She passed her lips. You know, Coraline, she said after a while, you are in terrible danger. Miss Forcible snorted and put down her knitting. Don't be silly, April. Stop scaring the girl. Your eyes are going. Pass me that cup, child. Coraline carried the cup over to Miss Forcible. Miss Forcible looked into it carefully and shook her head and looked into it again. Oh dear, she said. You are right, April. She is in danger. See, Miriam, said Miss Spink triumphantly. My eyes are as good as they ever were. What am I in danger from? Asked Coraline. Mrs. Spink and Forcible stared at her blankly. You didn't say, said Miss Spink. Tea leaves aren't reliable for that kind of thing. Not really. They're good for generalities, but not for specifics. What should I do then? Asked Coraline, who was slightly alarmed by this. Don't wear green in your dressing room, suggested Miss Spink. Or mention the Scottish play, added Miss Forcible. That is the end of my extract. So that was just a short extract of what Miss Spink and Miss Forcible are like. They are a bit crazy, you know, they used to be theatre ladies, so they talk a lot of weird theatre things that Coraline doesn't really understand. But that was her telling her she is in terrible danger, but from what? So that is my extract, and I hope you all liked it, and now I'm going to rate the book. I would probably give this book 4.5 out of 5, because I would give it a 0.5 but I just think everything in the movie that I was expecting to be in this book wasn't there. There are a few things missing that kind of would have pieced the story together. For example, if you watch the Coraline movie, there wasn't a YB in this book, and I think he played a very important role in this Coraline book, but without him, I kind of felt it was a bit bland. She didn't really have a friend to go along the way. You know, most adventure stories have a friend that go with them, but it was still a really good book. I just wish there were a few more bits in the book that would have pieced the story together nicely, but it's still a really good read, and I really do recommend it. I just wanted to say though, the movie did come after the book, so of course they added more things to the movie, so it made a bit more sense, but because I watched the movie first, it was kind of weird for me because I was kind of going backwards from the movie with lots of bits about YB and lots of different pieces to the book where there's no YB and there's some bits from the movie that weren't in the book, so it was kind of weird for me. I kind of should have read the book first, but that's just what I think. Now we're gonna have to bring Aiyven back.
You do realise that I'm literally right here. Don't you dare disobey me, Coraline.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us through this review. I hope you liked it, and I hope you especially liked Coraline. Make sure you go give it a read, give it a watch. And
Paper Towns, and it also says on the blurb, it is now a motion picture, so I do definitely recommend reading the book first, but I'm definitely gonna watch the movie sometime soon, so check this book out too.
Thank you guys so much for watching again. We hope to see you in our next review. Make sure to comment down your theories of Coraline in the comment section below, and stay tuned for our new exciting event thingy that we're going to be having.
Segment, it's not an event.
Oh right, segment that we're going to be having on our Instagram story. So make sure you go follow our Insta link in the description.